All right, so to start tonight, let's go ahead and find our way onto our mats in some form of a comfortable reclined position. So anything on the back side of your body. And as you settle in, you might bring awareness to your breath, noting where you feel it, how it feels, and if there is any urge to make an adjustment that might feel supportive, please honor that. But one of those main tenets of yoga is observation without judgment. Can we become curious about what is without needing to attach a story to it, without needing it to be some different way, but still allowing things to change if we feel called to? And I'd like to share a poem with you. It's called Song for Autumn. And I actually am just now realizing I don't have the author's name on here, which drives me nuts. So I'll send it to you with the recording because I can't remember right now. Don't you imagine the leaves dream now, how comfortable it will be to touch the earth instead of the nothingness of the air and the endless freshets of wind? And don't you think the trees, especially those with mossy hollows, are beginning to look for the birds that will come, six a dozen, to sleep inside their bodies? And don't you hear the goldenrod whispering goodbye, the everlasting being crowned with the first tuffets of snow? The pond stiffens, and the white field over which the fox runs so quickly brings out its long blue shadows. The wind wags its many tails, and in the evening the piled firewood shifts a little, longing to be on its way. I love this notion of the leaves dreaming to be held by the earth instead of the nothingness of the air and endless freshets of wind. In other words, this notion that something that might initially look like death or like the end is actually perhaps just the beginning, perhaps something even lovelier. And so, if it feels of service to you, you might reflect on something in your life, whether directly tied to the season or not, feels like an end. And perhaps notice what happens if you label it as a new beginning. Take two more of your own paced breaths in this form. Now, on your next inhale, you might begin to stretch and wiggle, maybe in a way that you don't normally default to, as though this is the first time that you've ever progressed from lying on your mat into movement. As you feel ready, you can bring your hands down by your hips, palms face down. We'll kick those legs up toward the ceiling or the sky and give yourself a moment to point and flex your feet, circle out your ankles. And then from here, we'll keep the right leg lifted. Go ahead and lower the left leg on your mat. And take a moment to use the muscles of your leg to draw that leg toward your abdomen any amount. Feeling the engagement of your hamstring in particular, be your calf muscles, some of those stabilizers around your knee. And then from here, bend that leg, and we're going to circle it over to the right any amount, kind of like half frog style. And then come all the way over to the left toward a supine twist. You might bring your arms out to a T as you do this. We'll come back over to the right any amount, and then across toward a supine twist. One more time, over to the right and across. Come back up with that leg toward the sky or ceiling. Join it with your left leg, and then right leg can lower. Using the muscles of your left leg, engage and draw that leg gently toward your abdomen. Bending into that leg, you can open it out to the left to start. Let your right hip stay heavy. And then over across your body, supine twist. Twice more. You might sync it up to your breath. Inhaling on one movement, exhaling on the other. Third and final time. Left leg can extend back toward the ceiling or sky. Right leg can join it. And then from here, lift your hips any amount. Begin to get a little bit of a rock going into your spine. You might extend your arms behind you or down by your sides. Eventually, we're going to come all the way up to a seat. And from here, let's inhale, arms up. On the exhale, twist over to the right. Draw your shoulders down and back. Soften through your jaw. Inhale up through center. And exhale to the left. Same thing. Inhale up through center. On the exhale, we're going to roll over to hands and knees, finding our way to a traditional tabletop form. Let's take a couple rounds of cat-cow. Follow your breath here. Again, make choices that feel aligned for you today. That might be adding movement or inviting stillness. Making something a little different than you might originally default to. One more cycle of cat-cow. When you find your way to a neutral spine, shift into your left knee and your hands and kind of prep yourself by pressing into the mat as you lift your right leg out to the side, fire hydrant style. And then we're just going to circle that knee toward the right elbow, all the way back down toward the mat, but hovering it, and then come straight up behind and out to the side. So try to keep the rest of your body as still as possible as you're making these circles. So it's slow, it's intentional, it's very active. Right now, our leg is that leaf in the air. You might be craving some sort of feedback, so we're going to offer it that by lifting the leg behind us while bent, and then left arm comes out in front and sweeps all the way behind. You can catch your foot or reach toward contact, and then create a little bit of resistance. And see what happens if you view this resistance as support, as mutual feedback, as contact in a supportive manner. Gently release. Extend both of those limbs out and then press into the mat. Feel your shoulders firm up. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. And then we're going to exhale out to the sides. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale out to the side. Inhale, extend. Lower your left hand. We're going to bring the right knee toward the right elbow. Really engage here. Give a little bit of pressure from your arm to your knee, from your knee to your arm. Maybe even point your toe. And then we're going to kick it back and out to the left so that we're crossing our limbs. From here, you might rock forward and back into that right foot. On another exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend it back, touch those toes down, find your rock. Exhale, knee toward elbow. This time, as you go back to cross over, bend your leg so that your right knee lands on your left calf and kind of trace that calf muscle up and down on your leg. We're going to do this in a different orientation later in class. And this can just be a nice way to gain a little bit of familiarity while we don't have to focus on balance or anything too much. It can also be a little bit of a massage. The next time you finish a cycle of tracing, go ahead and extend your right leg out and then bend that knee, lower your knee to the ground. Come on up and circle out your wrists. And then from here, we're going to cactus out those arms and take a moment to twist to the left, really resisting twisting those hips. So keeping your hips square to the front. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist to the right, hips stay square to the front. Inhale through center. And this time as we exhale, gentle heart opener. Root down through your knees, keep your tailbone neutral, and then invite the bend into your spine. Keep pressing down through your knees. Inhale, reach up. Catch your right wrist with your left fingers and lean to the left. Gentle side bend. Inhale, back up through center. And exhale, hands are going to come back to the mat. We'll do that initial set on the second side. Left leg extends. Lift it up, bend that knee, and fire hydrant out to the right. From here, try to really press into your right knee into both hands, and then bring your knee toward your left elbow, down back toward the mat, and up behind you. So finding this circle as much in just the leg as you can. Just trying not to overly compensate throughout the rest of the body. Last one. When your leg is bent in behind you, go ahead and shift into your left hand, right knee. Press into both of those points of contact. So you extend your right hand forward and then sweep it back to catch your left foot if you can. And again, what is that contact when viewed as support? In this case, maybe that left front side of the hip feels safer to open with the support of this bind, this feedback. Gently release. Extend both limbs, really press into your points of contact. And exhale, knee toward elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, out to the sides with both limbs. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, out to the sides. Inhale, extend. Last one, exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Out to the sides. Inhale, extend. Right hand lowers. From here, left knee toward left elbow. Create a little bit of resistance. And then kick your left foot out to the side and to your right in specific. Rock into that foot. Notice where you feel this, if it's more in your hip or your calf. As you're ready, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, kick it out to the side. Pause here, wiggle around. Last one, exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, kick it out to the side. But this time, lower your knee to the back of your right calf. And again, begin to trace your knee up and down that muscle. Noticing how that feels. When you're ready, you can kick your left leg out, lower that knee down. And this time we're going to send hips back to heels. You might spread your knees apart a little bit. Crawl your hands off to the right side. Take a moment to inhale through your left side body. Exhale to stay. Inhale once more. As you exhale, you're going to press into your hands and crawl over to the other side of your mat. Same thing here. Inhale to open through that side body. Exhale to stay. Inhale to open. Exhale to crawl back through center. Lift up onto your knees. Second time here, we're just going to inhale those arms up. Exhale, cactus them out. This time straight into the back bend. So really press into your knees. Keep your pelvis neutral, heart lifts. Draw your chin back in space a little bit. Inhale, come up through center. Right fingers wrap around that left wrist. And exhale, lean to the right. Inhale, bring it on up. And exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. We're going to move them forward, maybe a handprint, so you can find your way up and back, downward facing. Take a couple breaths here, maybe in movement, maybe in stillness. One more breath. On an inhale, let's reach that right leg up. Bend the knee, open the hip. Find a circle in the same way we did while kneeling. But notice how this might feel different. Switch up the direction. And then kick that leg straight. On an exhale, step that foot forward any amount. Lower your left knee, breath in. And exhale, left foot forward, fold. Inhale, halfway lift long spine, but press gently, hands to shins, shins to hands. Again, feel that feedback. Allow that to maybe encourage an even longer spine. Exhale, fold, let it go. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands through heart center, pause. Take a couple breaths here, scan through, notice what comes up. What's at the front of your awareness? On an inhale, we'll sweep those arms back up. Exhale, fold it all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, find that feedback. Exhale, release. Fingertips on the mat, right foot steps back, lower that knee, breath in. This time, left arm's gonna reach up for an open twist. And exhale, plant your hand, step it back to a plank. Pause here. Scan through your body in this more activated form. And then like we're moving through molasses, you might rock your shoulders a little bit forward. Think of keeping your blades wide as your elbows bend straight back all the way till your belly's on the mat. Tops of feet on the mat, pelvis on the mat. Inhale, lift through your heart. Elbows are still straight back. Exhale, release. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift through the heart. Exhale, release. Find your way up and back, downward facing dog. On your inhale, left leg lifts up, bend your knee. Find those big circles. Switch direction. And then kick your left leg back. As you exhale, step it through. Right knee lowers, inhale, look up. Exhale, both feet forward, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine, find the resistance. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands are gonna come all the way to your hips. Root down evenly through your feet, draw your shoulders back. Invite a neutral pelvis, thinking tailbone down, and think of that belly button just gently hugging inward. Slight support here. As your hips move forward, heart lifts up. Hips move forward, heart lifts up. Picture your cobra form here. Your hips are on the mat. Your heart's lifting from it. We're just in a different orientation. A couple more breaths. Use an inhale to lift all the way up. Reach tall. And as you exhale, fold it all the way down. Pause here this time. Maybe catching opposite elbows or holding to the back sides of your legs, but offering some sort of input from your hands or arms. Wherever you are with your hands or arms, see if you can just bring a little more awareness to that point of contact. The leaf embraced by the earth. You are both the leaf and the earth in this metaphor. On an inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, let that go. Fingertips on the mat, left foot steps back. Inhale, right arm opens for a low lunge with a twist. And exhale, plant your hands, step it back, plank. Pause here. And like you're moving through molasses, this time lowering just halfway down. So your elbows hanging at your ribs. Flip over your feet. Draw your heart through and up. Bend your elbows just a bit to keep dragging your hands back, heart forward. And then exhale. Hips are gonna lift and lead you all the way back to downward facing. Find your breath. Looking at your feet, we're gonna begin to step them forward. Try to press into your hands the whole time and let your heels be heavy the whole time. So we're getting a nice stretch through the legs until your feet are at the front edge of the mat. From here, we'll inhale, lift halfway, pause at this point, and then begin to bend your knees and reach your arms forward and up, chair form. Try to lift all your toes and spread out through them. Find your breath. On an inhale, rise tall, maybe lifting through the heart space. And exhale, hands through heart center. Shift into your, right foot, coming up onto your left toes. From here, we're going to lift that knee into alignment with the hip and then open it out to the side. See how that shifts your balance. Maybe begin to pivot toward kind of a dancer form with the leg. And then coming all the way back up in front. So we're coming out to the side, continuing that circle again, and then all the way back up forward. One more time. All the way back up forward. This time we're going to pause at each point. So, so starting here, left hand to left knee, pull that knee in and up towards your rib cage. Feel the support of having that bind. Right arm can extend straight up. Option here to lift any amount through the heart space. Kind of creating resistance between the hand and knee to facilitate balance. Use an inhale to ease your way back up. And then from here, Left leg comes out to the left. You can keep holding that knee for support. You might bring your right arm out to the right and begin to tilt to the right any amount, side bending. Back up through center. And then we're going to slide the left hand down to the foot. Hand comes forward, your right hand, palm face down. Kick foot to hand, pull hand against foot. Use that to support your balance in this dancer form, Rajasana. Inhale back up through center and exhale, let everything go. Give your right ankle a break. We'll go to the second side here. All right, so shifting into your left foot. Hands can be at heart center. Right knee lifts up. Out to the side. Pivot to be back behind. And back up through center. Out to the side. Back behind. Up through center. One more just like that. The next time that it's up through center, pause here. Right hand to right knee. Draw that leg in. Left arm can extend upward. Maybe begin to pull against your right leg enough that you can feel comfortable leaning backward any amount. Inhale up through center. Exhale, we're going out to the right. This one gets funky. We're contracting through the left side body any amount. Inhale back up through center. Exhale, slide your hand down toward your foot or ankle. Left hand, palm face down ahead of you. Kick foot to hand, pull hand against foot. Find your dancer form here. Inhale to release. Set everything down, wiggle it out. We're gonna have a little fun here, but it might not seem like fun the whole time. You guys know my definition of fun, okay? So, hands to heart center, kind of building off what we just did. All right, we're gonna shift into the right foot to start. Left knee's gonna come up and circle out to the left, just as we've been doing. Circle all the way back, but this time, knee comes to calf. Point or flex your toes. Slide that knee down your calf any amount. And back up. Whew. Couple more times. Slide it down. Maybe exhale to push into your right foot and come back up. All right, once more. Inhale, slide down. Pause here. Feel the strength of your right leg as you exhale. Press and come all the way up. Step your left foot down behind you. Shift evenly into both feet. Reach your arms up, catch your right wrist with your left hand, and exhale, pressing into your feet, lean to the left. Inhale up through center. Release your hands, swan dive it down, maintaining your legs in this abducted forward fold. There's an option to stay right here or to lower your left fingers and reach your right arm up. They're equal value options. Choose what feels good for you. Your arm is lifted, gently lower it. Begin to bend into your knees. Option here for an arm balance. If you're going to take the arm balance, we're going to walk our hands a little bit to the right. And as you think of your elbows bending back to create a shelf, it's going to be the upper right leg that lands on those elbows. So thinking of the right hip kind of dropping toward the right elbow, legs are still crossed. You can even cross them more once you're lifted. Or you could cross them less, maybe stacking them for more of a side crow. Play with straightening the top leg or the bottom. And then eventually you're like, Brooke, we've been here too long. Go ahead and ease back to your toes. Spread your feet a little bit wider as you bend your knees and land your hips between your heels for Gomukhasana or cow face form. From here, let's inhale those arms up. Exhale, catch your right elbow with your left hand. And again, lean to the left just a smidge. Inhale up through center, straighten your arms. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to twist to the right. Left elbow tucks outside of right knee. Broaden through your collarbones, soften through your shoulders. Try to notice where your head is in space. There way you can align it more with your neck, creating a little more ease. On an inhale, gently unwind. Exhale, we're going to hinge it forward for just a moment, inviting in a stretch to that outer right hip, perhaps. On an inhale, lift your torso back up. And here, we're going to try to do this as hands-free as possible, starting by sliding the right foot wherever you need to. It might be way over to the right or a little bit towards center. You might kind of rock forward and back, see if you can get up onto your left knee. If you're like, that doesn't feel good in my body right now, use your hands, but just use them lightly. And let go of that support when you feel able to. Coming all the way back up to standing, our legs are crossed still at the front edge of the mat. And then gently unwind. Both legs facing forward, both sets of toes facing forward. Take a moment to scan through your body. Connect back to your breath. As you're ready, your eyes might blink open. And we'll shift toward this left foot. Hands again can be at heart center. Right knee's gonna lift up. It's gonna find that circle out to the right. But then from there, right knee's gonna land at the backside of the left calf. And we're gonna trace that calf down and then press into your left foot, come back up. Inhale to lower down. Exhale to lift back up. Last one, lower down. Lift back up. Lower your right toes behind you. Finding your way into a cross-legged standing form. Arms come up. We're going to catch the left wrist and draw it over to the right. Inhale to come through center. And as you exhale, swan dive it down, forward fold of any variety. You might stay right here, or you might keep your right hand lowered and reach your left hand up toward the ceiling or sky. Gently release your left hand if it was lifted. We'll all bring fingertips to the mat. As you begin to bend into your legs, this is where we set up for that arm balance if you'd like. This time your hands come out to the left, and we're thinking of the upper left leg landing on our elbows. Kind of bring that left elbow in, maybe it catches your ribs or your hip. You might increase the wrap, decrease the wrap, play with straightening or bending. Eventually touch down. Find your way back to that cross-legged standing, and then scoot your feet wider as you lower down in between your heels to a seat. From here, we'll inhale, arms up. We will catch, wait, I think I have, sorry, I crossed my legs the wrong way there. We'll catch left elbow with right hand and lean to the right. Inhale up through center, reach your arms up. Exhale as palms come toward heart center, twist to your left. Right elbow can tuck outside of left knee. One more breath here. As you inhale, gently unwind. Same thing as last time. Is there a way to get up to standing without hands or with minimal use of hands? Finding that left leg forward, cross, and unwinding back through center. Pause here, again, scan through your body. Let whatever you observe, again, be something that you don't need to attach a story to. As you're ready, you might blink your eyes open. From here, we'll inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Shifting into your right foot, we're gonna lift the left knee up. Again, circle it out to the side, but this time follow it all the way through a hanging half moon. Find neutral through your head. And then lower your left toes down. Set up for warrior two. And take a moment here to scan through hips. See if they can be more level and open. If your shoulders can stack atop them. Just little adjustments that might help this form to feel more sustainable. On the exhale, we're gonna lower down towards side angle. That can be elbow to knee or hand to mat. Just keep your sit bones drawing together. And again, try to find neutral through your spine, through your neck. Keep your legs as they are. Inhale your torso back upright. Reverse this form. And then straighten through your right leg. Act as though somebody is tugging on your right hand to gently lean forward toward a triangle form. Soften into your right knee. Left hand's gonna cartwheel down to the mat. Both hands are inside of this right foot. Pivot on your left foot so that you're facing the front edge of your mat. We're gonna pulse here. Lower that left knee, coming toward a lowered lizard lunge. And then exhale, straighten both legs any amount, maybe rocking onto the heel of your right foot for this really extended abducted pyramid. Okay, inhale for the lizard. Exhale for pyramid. Move at your pace here. The next time that you exhale into your pyramid, we're going to pause there, giving ourselves a chance to take just a couple of breaths. Use an inhale to come back to your lizard form. And again, we'll pause here. You might keep your left hand on the mat, or if it feels okay, you might bring your left forearm down parallel to the skinny edge. And then we're gonna, again, reach back with that right arm and catch this foot if at all possible. Think of this again as a support, not a strain of, oh, let me tug this foot in, but rather, how can my hand allow my foot to feel more safe here? To maybe provide some feedback into my leg. And my foot is also providing feedback into my hand. Maybe it encourages me to open my shoulder or to otherwise settle just a smidge more. Gently unwind out of that form. Bringing your hands to the mat, you can tuck your left toes under, lift that knee, Crawl your hands halfway to the left. Facing the long edge of your mat, you can turn both sets of toes out. We're going to bend as deeply into this left leg as feels okay. In this Skandasana, again, we'll pay attention to points of contact. It's kind of what we're looking at through a lot of this practice. You might have palms at heart center, or you might extend left hand down to the mat and right arm up. But either way, that left tricep is on the inside of your left knee. Gently release out. Press into your hands, come back to the long edge. This time toes point forward. Inhale, long spine. As you exhale, find your forward fold. This nice wide-legged fold. You might rock from heel to toe, noticing how that affects this. Maybe coming to stillness, but shooting your hips back in space a little bit. And if you would like, I'm going to cue us through a little bit of a headstand progression, noting that you can stop any part of the way. We can start by broadening the feet any amount to allow your head to more easily come to the mat, or bending your knees to facilitate that. It's all the same. And we'll bring elbows just inside of shoulder distance. You can bring palms together and have Anjali Mudra hands, or you can wrap your fingers together and untuck your bottom pinky so that both pinkies have purchase on the mat. The crown of your head comes down kind of inside your wrists. And here we're going to play with a puppy pose, or not a puppy pose, a puppy lift. All right, so you might crawl your feet to wherever it feels like you can kind of more easily lift one and the other. And we're going to bend one leg up. Don't think too much about it. Whichever one kind of naturally can lift. Point your toes, think heel to sit bone. And then from here, you're finding the fire hydrant. And then you're going to kind of bring that knee down to leverage the other leg up. All right, so you think of like it's a teeter-totter that you're building, and you're using that shortened lever of your bent leg to lift the longer lever of your other, and you might instantly bend the other leg. Sometimes that can feel supportive, maintaining balance that way. Or you might straighten out your bent leg and get balance that way. If you're lifted, let's go ahead and lower by creasing at the hips and landing those feet down. Elongate your spine. Look over one shoulder and the other, letting it be a really gentle movement through your neck. And then we're going to crawl our hands all the way to the left foot at the back edge of the mat. Plant your hands, but this time move your left hand under your face, roll to your outer left foot, come on up side plank. Exhale, hip lowers, fingers sweep the mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hip lowers. Inhale, lift. Bend your right knee. Maybe step it behind you and press up for a wild thing. And then come back through that side plank, really contracting through the left side body to step your right foot toward your left hand. Crawl all the way back to the front edge of your mat. Right foot steps forward. Gently roll your way up to standing. And again, pause, scan, observe. We've added quite a few spicy little things into this, even though we're moving slower and smoother tonight. So just notice how it's landing. And as you're ready, hands to heart center, shift into your left foot, right knee lifts, circle it out, follow it all the way into a hanging half moon. Try to keep your head neutral. Always the hardest part for me. As soon as I make that adjustment, I lose my balance. Lower your right leg and bring it on up. warrior two. Taking the time again to square and level your hips, stack your shoulders, and otherwise invite a little bit more ease just by stacking those joints in a way that makes it a little less effortful. On an exhale, find your way to side angle, whether that be elbow to knee or hand to mat. Length through both sides of your ribs. And again, find neutral through your head. Keep strong in your legs here and bring yourself back up. Instantly falling back, reverse. Straighten your left leg. And then left hand comes forward. Someone tugs your fingers. Find that reach. Triangle form. Again, head stays neutral. You can be looking forward, down, or up, but just trying to keep yourself in a neutral position with your neck. Looking down toward the mat, we'll cartwheel the right hand down, left hand down, pivot on your back foot. As you lower your right knee, you're in a lowered lizard. Exhale, you might lift your left toes as you straighten through your legs any amount for this long pyramid. Inhale to bend. Exhale to straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Once more. This time as you exhale, straighten, hold for a breath or two. Use an inhale to soften back into that left knee. Setting up for lizard, right hand or forearm on the mat. Bend your back leg, reach toward it. Use the bind if you have it as a support. Trying not to force anything here, but rather to notice what feels accessible, what feels safe. Gently release. Curl your right toes under and lift that knee. We're going to crawl halfway to the right. This time bending as deeply as we can into the right leg. Skandasana, second side. This time the point of contact is right tricep to right knee. Palm to palm, or extend those arms. Right fingertips coming to the mat. Take a breath here. Gently release. Press into the mat again. Both sets of toes point forward. Inhale, long spine. As you exhale, forward fold. Alternatively, if you were liking that headstand, you might play with it again. If you were working on the puppy press and it was feeling close but not quite there, you can grab like a sock or a towel or something to put in your hip crease. That can be a really helpful way to keep that core engaged. But again, the cueing of it is that you want to walk your feet in to where you can easily shift weight from one to the other. Choose a leg to bend. Whatever you naturally choose is probably what your body's going to be most comfortable with. And then think of really lifting that knee toward the ceiling and then kind of keeping that bend, but drawing it out to the side. It's almost like you're karate kicking your lowered leg out to the side. And you might straighten both legs or bend both legs. Subtly check that you're still keeping pressure into your forearms, not all in your head. Hinge at the hips to lower down with as much control as you can. It might not be a lot. Every bit counts. And then elongate long spine, gentle turning of your head side to side. We'll crawl our hands all the way to that back edge of the mat where the right foot waits. Step back for a plank, this time right hand under the nose. Inhale, left arm up. 2 dips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Left leg bend, step it back, lift up. Come from your wild thing, through that side plank, left foot steps forward. And from here, we crawl our hands all the way back to the front edge of the mat. The left foot's gonna step forward, and we're gonna lower down to a seat. Any comfortable seat here. In this comfortable seat, I'm gonna dictate what comfortable seat it is for just a moment, because I wanna add one more thing. Let's go ahead and step our feet about as wide as the mat and lower the knees one way, and you can kind of lean into it, and then the other, leaning into it. The next time you lower them to the first direction, plant your hand, lift it up, invite in just a gentle back bend, and lower. We'll go to the second side. Once you're back through center, from here, determine for yourself what you would like your comfortable seat to be. If you have something to elevate your hips, that can be really nourishing. You might play with which leg is closer or further if you're cross-legged, or maybe extend your legs out and sit up against the wall. We're just going to do a little bit of breath work here. The breath that we're going to utilize is a breath of balance, Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breath. All throughout the day, we have a dominant nostril that we breathe out of, and it switches throughout the day. And so you might notice for yourself if you can tell which nostril is dominant for you right now. Doesn't matter if you can find it or not, it's just a point of curiosity. From here, we'll bring the fingers of the right hand to that space between your brows, and you might massage it for a moment, inviting some softening of those facial muscles. And then we're going to prepare to use the pinky and the thumb to close one nostril at a time and to ultimately breathe through one nostril at a time. So to start, inhale fully. Exhale through your nose, let it go. Block your right nostril, inhale through the left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Keep following that, where you change on the exhale and you stay for the inhale. But determine for yourself how long you want these breaths to be, and settle into a bit of a rhythm. Noticing if there's anywhere in your body that's holding tension that isn't of service to you right now. The next time that you inhale, bring both hands to your legs, exhale through your mouth, let it go. Observe any lingering effects. There's an invitation here to stay seated as we conclude tonight, knowing that a seat is what's typically recommended for meditation, just because the way we're oriented tends to be more conducive to active work, so to speak. Whereas lying down, our body kind of is programmed to view that as something different. And so if we want to stay engaged, if that feels of service to you, you might stay seated, and if not, you might lie down. Either way, your goal is to observe without judging, letting your thoughts be present because that's what our minds are built to do. We have something like 3,000 thoughts a minute. But instead of getting carried away by those thoughts, see if you can find that part of you that is deeper than those thoughts. That steady current far beneath. And like the earth holding those leaves, is there somewhere within your own body that can hold the fullness of you? If you feel inspired to, you might bring a hand to heart. Maybe your other one comes to your abdomen or stays otherwise planted on a leg or something. Let that hand at your heart become another source of feedback. You were breathing before your hand was there. Your heart was already beating. And yet you might be aware of it and in contact with it in a different way due to this placement of your hand. Feels of interest to you, you might call to mind that thing from the start of practice that feels like an ending that's relevant to you right now. Maybe small or big. You might visualize just like a leaf turns to compost for any seed beneath it, what this might evolve into. We prepare to shift from this space. You might begin to deepen your breath, perhaps releasing your hands, maybe inviting in little wiggles or movements. And inhale might even reach your arms up. Exhaling your hands down to heart center, connecting with anything that you'd like to carry forward from this practice, anything you might like to leave behind. Thank you for sharing this space. Namaste.